The new video that we've just released concerning the state of the Palestinian Arab community in the UNRWA camps shows the increased incitement of UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Work Agency, the increased indoctrination of the Palestinian Arab population to reclaim their homes from 1948. The system of indoctrination in the Palestinian schools, in the Palestinian summer camps, run by the United Nations Relief and Work Agency, is contrasted with what goes on in Israel. Israel, the entire state of Israel's education system prepares people for some kind of peace in the future, while the United Nations is preparing the Palestinian Arab population to take back their homes in 48. We go into the schools. This week, while we're speaking, we have a crew that's filming the summer camps run by UNRWA, where the children are taught to take back the homes they lost in 1948 and to repossess them. Now, those homes are not in Judea, Samaria, Gaza. Those homes are everywhere possible within Israel itself.
Where's this coming from? Is this the United Nations? This is their policy? Or specifically in UNRWA, there are people that are ignoring, or they're actually leading and pushing this policy?
UNRWA is responsible and is very, very proud to organize every aspect of the life of people in the Palestinian Authority who live in the UNRWA camps, to spend their whole lives involved in trying to get back their homes from 48. The activities in the schools, the activities in the summer camps, activities in the youth clubs, and this is what we film. And we show all this to be happening. We show demonstrations, we show riots, we show people who are actually in being trained for the armed struggle. And all this is happening in camps not run by people from Iran or Saudi Arabia, but in refugee facilities that are financed by the United States, Canada, the European Union, and let's say that they want some kind of a state, Palestinian state, in Judea, Samaria, Gaza.
So how do you explain this? What does this come from? What motivates them to act like this towards the Palestinians, to supporting terror?
Well, first of all, there is no understanding that this is a support for terror. From their point of view, this is the actualization of the human right, what they call the inalienable right of return. When we take off the maps, which are in the schools which we find there. Now, these maps are in English. The maps there are in Arabic, and they gave it to in English. They said, well, we have Palestinian Arabs abroad, Palestinian Arab refugees abroad, who do not know how to read Arabic. And very, very clearly showing all the places they expect to go back to that were left in 1948, homes, villages, and they have an internet site, PalestineRemembered.com, so that every child in every school can locate it. One of the things we saw this week while filming the Palestinian summer camps, what is their concept of art? Taking a huge mural which says 194 foreign, and writing, which is the right of return resolution, and writing on it every child where he comes from, Jaffa and different parts of Jerusalem, Tzfat, Rambla, Lud, etc. And what this movie does is show that another section of the United Nations, the UNHCR, the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, has started on an experimental basis taking Palestinian refugees who were stranded in Iraq and taking them and giving them a proper, permanent humanitarian solution. We show a film in Chile, and we could have shown a film in 11 other countries where almost 20,000 Palestinian Arab refugees and their descendants actually are being relocated.
The Chilean government and later on civil society opened the door to this group of refugees.
يعني أنا فرحان كثير لأنها جتني، يعني الحمد لله إنه الله رزقني ببنت أو ولد، يعني الحمد لله والشكر، اثنينهم نفس الإشي، قامت بالسلامة والبنت اجت بخير وبسلامة وكاملة الخلقة. زين، والفرحة الثانية إنها انولدت، يعني إنه في بلد زي أختها مريم انولدت في المخيم، هي انولدت، وأتمنى إنهم يحنوا علينا ويعطونا الجنسية على ضوء بنتي، يعني زين بنتي تشيلانية، يعني أول بنت تشيلانية تيجي فلسطينية هون.
I want to get the good future and safety and get the nationality.
You want to become a Chilean?
Yes, yes, because in here I see a good people, a good country. No one wanted us, just Chile.
Concept of helping Palestinian refugee descendants to go to other countries, such as Chile. That's one of the solutions. You know, we cannot solve the Israeli-Arab war. The Israeli-Arab war is going to go on for a while, unfortunately, and that's not going to stop. However, what can be solved is the issue of the refugees. Who ever heard of a situation of people being in refugee facilities for 63 years? Now, the fact is that the U.S. and Canada and the European Union don't even consider what's going to be in the future. Now, there is a new. This is what's important for the people who view this program. What's very important to understand is that there's an effort going on in the United States Congress, in the Canadian Parliament, and the European Parliament to reform UNRWA, so that UNRWA will no longer be encouraging what we call the right of return to villages that no longer exist. Instead, that UNRWA would reform itself and start encouraging what? Resettlement. Humanitarian permanent resettlement, whether inside the areas, inside the refugee camps themselves or abroad.
Your activity has been going on for a long time. What can you tell us about the responses from the authorities, from organizations, from United Nations?
For the first time, after 23 years actually, of working on this subject, we are getting excellent feedback from the U.S. Congress, from the Canadian Parliament, from the European Parliament, and off the record from officials in the American government, the Canadian government, and different European governments who understand that this is the Achilles heel of the process. And if this isn't solved, nothing can be solved.
How about the United Nations? Anyone there?
The people in the United Nations High Commission for Refugees, the UNHCR, are pleased to share their knowledge of how to provide permanent facilities for refugees with UNRWA. And the time has come for UNRWA to absorb the policies of UNHCR.
But any responses from UNRWA about your claims?
Well, the UNRWA is very defensive. UNRWA wants to continue as it is. The fact that the UNRWA Workers Association and the Workers Teachers Association was taken over by Hamas doesn't seem to bother them. UNRWA simply denies, as a matter of fact, when we showed murals on Israel television last year, murals of killers, UNRWA actually denied that the murals existed. And that's kind of funny because I flunked 8th grade art. I couldn't have drawn those murals.
How about the Israeli authorities? What are you hearing from them?
There are two responses from Israeli authorities. The people around Moshe Ya'alon's office. Moshe Ya'alon is the Deputy Prime Minister for Strategic Affairs. He's extremely worried, extremely concerned, and he understands the importance of UNRWA redefining its role. However, Ehud Barak, the Israel Minister of Defense, is very clear about helping UNRWA continue as it is, helping with the status quo. He uses the expression all the time, well, if we don't have UNRWA, we'll have Hamas, except for one thing. He forgets that Hamas is the agency running UNRWA. The issue is to get more people to understand and to spread the word, and what's very important for your viewing audience in North America, there will be now initiatives in the Canadian Parliament and the American Congress to reform UNRWA, and being in touch with members of Congress, with staffers of Congress, this is extremely important.